Does this sound familiar? You're enjoying dinner, and at your feet, a fluffy ball of fur sits, gazing up at you with eyes so sweet. Your heart just melts. You think to yourself, what harm could one tiny morsel from my plate do? This small act of love, this tiny concession, could actually be a one-way ticket to serious health issues for your beloved pet. Today, we're diving into what we call cat fast food. We'll uncover 10 seemingly harmless foods that are, in fact, deadly poison for your cat. And I promise you, some items on this list will truly surprise you. Before we dive into our list, it's crucial to understand one fundamental truth. Cats are not just tiny humans in furry suits. Their metabolism and digestive system are drastically different from ours. They are pure, unadulterated predators. What might be a healthy snack for us could be akin to trying to fuel a high-performance race car with water instead of gasoline for them. Their systems simply aren't designed for it. Ignoring this crucial fact is the leading cause of preventable tragedies that unfold in our own kitchens. All right, let's kick off our blacklist. Topping the list is a true kitchen infiltrator, subtly hiding in almost every other dish. We're talking about onions and garlic. Yes, those very ingredients we consider indispensable for soups, roasts, or sauces. For us, they're aromatic spices. For your cat, a silent killer. So what's the big deal? Both onions and garlic in any form, raw, cooked, dried, or powdered, contain compounds called disulfides and thiosulfates. Sounds complicated, but their effect is chillingly simple and brutal. Once ingested by your cat, these substances launch an attack on their red blood cells, the erythrocytes. Imagine red blood cells as tiny trucks that deliver oxygen throughout the body. Well, onions and garlic literally break down these tiny trucks, rendering them unable to carry oxygen. This condition is known as hemolytic anemia. Symptoms might not appear immediately. They can take several days to manifest. Your cat might become lethargic, weak, develop shortness of breath, and their gums may turn pale. In severe cases, their urine can take on a dark, reddish tint. And the most insidious part is that even small, regular consumption, for instance, if your cat licks leftover sauce from a plate, can lead to chronic poisoning. So, remember this, absolutely no soups, gravies, or ground meat with even a hint of onion or garlic. Now let's talk about a dessert that for many is the ultimate indulgence, chocolate. It's arguably the most popular item on our list, and also the most dangerous. For us, it's a mood booster, a comforting treat, or even an antidepressant in bar form. But for a cat, it's a potent toxin that directly attacks their most vital organs, the heart and nervous system. The culprit behind this danger is a compound called theobromine. Our bodies have enzymes that efficiently break it down. A cat's system, however, is practically defenseless against it. Theobromine accumulates in their system, reaching toxic levels, and acts as a powerful stimulant. So, what happens next? A cat's heart will start racing uncontrollably. They might experience muscle tremors, restlessness, and vomiting. In severe cases, these symptoms can escalate to seizures, coma, and ultimately cardiac arrest. And here's a crucial rule to remember. The darker the chocolate, the more dangerous it is. Dark and baking chocolates contain the highest concentrations of theobromine. Milk chocolate has less, but it's still very much toxic. So that means no chocolate bars, cookies, or ice cream for your feline friend. Keep this sweet treat as far away from your pet as possible. It's time to shatter one of the oldest and most ingrained myths, one we've known since childhood. The image of a cute kitten lapping milk from a saucer is familiar to everyone. You see it in cartoons, fairy tales, and on postcards. It seems like milk and cats are a match made in heaven. But alas, the reality is far less idyllic and often quite problematic for our feline friends' digestive systems. The vast majority of adult cats suffer from lactose intolerance. Yes, just like many humans. The secret lies in an enzyme called lactase. When kittens are born, their bodies produce a lot of this enzyme, allowing them to digest their mother's milk. This is absolutely vital for their survival. However, as soon as a kitten matures and transitions to solid food, nature decides it no longer needs lactase. Its production significantly diminishes or ceases entirely. And that's where the problem begins. When an adult cat drinks cow's milk, its body simply cannot break down the milk sugar, lactose. So what happens then? The undigested lactose travels straight to the large intestine, where it ferments. The result: bloating, gas, abdominal pain, and of course diarrhea. Essentially, by offering your cat milk, you're practically guaranteeing them a serious upset stomach. Despite the fact that a cat might enjoy the taste of milk due to its richness, the best drink for them always has been and always will be simple: clean water. The next item on our list of dangerous foods might truly shock you, because we're about to discuss something we usually consider a symbol of health and vitality. That's right, we're talking about grapes and raisins, these small sweet berries that we love to add to baked goods, salads, or simply snack on by the handful. But for our feline friends, these seemingly harmless fruits can be a death sentence for their kidneys. Even now, scientists can't pinpoint with 100% certainty exactly what toxin in grapes triggers this severe reaction. But the undeniable truth is this: just a few grapes or even a handful of raisins can lead to acute kidney failure in cats. This is one of the most rapid and devastating forms of poisoning. So, what exactly happens? A cat's kidneys simply shut down. They lose their ability to filter blood and remove dangerous toxins from the body. Symptoms of poisoning can appear incredibly quickly, often within a day. Your cat may become lethargic, lose their appetite and start vomiting. They might begin drinking excessive amounts of water, or on the other hand, stop urinating entirely. This is a critical, life-threatening situation that demands immediate veterinary attention. Without urgent medical intervention, the chances of survival are tragically slim. So, please remember this rule once and for all: grapes and raisins are an absolute no-go for cats. Not even a single berry, whether it's accidentally dropped on the floor or offered as a treat. Every holiday or social gathering at our house automatically turns into a high-risk situation for our pets. And it's not just the abundance of forbidden foods they might get into. The biggest danger, however, often hides in our glasses, specifically alcohol. What we see as a way to unwind and celebrate, for a cat, is pure liquid poison. A cat's body, particularly its liver and kidneys, is simply not equipped to process ethanol. Even a minuscule amount of alcohol, what we'd consider negligible, can cause severe poisoning. We're not talking about a whole shot glass here, but literally just 1 or 2 teaspoons. That's all it takes for a potential disaster. So, what happens if a cat accidentally ingests alcohol? The symptoms closely resemble human intoxication, but they are far more severe for felines. Initially, you'll see impaired coordination, a wobbly gait, and disorientation. This can be followed by vomiting, diarrhea, and laboured breathing. Body temperature will drop, and blood sugar levels plummet. In the most severe cases, it can lead to seizures, coma, and even respiratory arrest. Remember, the sweet smell of liquor or wine can be incredibly tempting to a curious cat. Therefore, never leave drinks unattended and promptly wipe up any spilled drops. Their natural curiosity could cost them their life. Your morning ritual, the one that helps you wake up and get energized, could pose a deadly threat to your cat. We're talking about caffeine. It's not just found in coffee, but also in black and green teas, cocoa, cola-type sodas, energy drinks, and even some pain relief medications. For a cat's body, caffeine is an incredibly powerful stimulant for both the central nervous system and the heart. While a cup of coffee gives us a pleasant boost, even a small dose can hit a cat like an exploding bomb. Their metabolism simply isn't equipped to process such a substance. The symptoms of caffeine poisoning are frightening and develop alarmingly quickly. Within just 30 to 60 minutes of ingestion, your cat can become hyperactive and restless. Their heart will begin to pound at an incredible speed, potentially leading to cardiac arrhythmia. Blood pressure will rise, muscle tremors will appear. escalating into full-blown seizures. Never allow your cat to lap from your coffee or teacup. Be vigilant about coffee grounds, used tea bags and spilled beans. For a cat's tiny system, even these small amounts can be enough to deliver a toxic dose. That morning jolt of energy is strictly for humans. Now let's uncover a hidden danger lurking in the world of healthy and diet products. This substance is called xylitol. You might not recognise the name, but you've almost certainly encountered it. It's a popular sugar substitute found in countless products: diet baked goods, sugar-free chewing gum, toothpaste, candies, cough syrups, and many other sweets. While xylitol is considered a safe sugar alternative for humans, for cats, and especially for dogs, it's one of the most dangerous toxins. Its mechanism of action in their bodies is drastically different from ours. Once absorbed into an animal's bloodstream, xylitol triggers a massive release of insulin from the pancreas. As we know, insulin is responsible for lowering blood sugar. This abnormally high insulin surge causes a pet's blood glucose levels to plummet to dangerously low levels. This condition is known as hypoglycemia. It develops rapidly, sometimes within just 30 minutes of ingestion. Symptoms are severe and include sudden weakness, loss of coordination, vomiting, and seizures. But the danger doesn't stop there. In larger doses, xylitol can inflict a devastating blow to the liver, causing acute necrosis, essentially the death of liver tissue. This condition is often fatal. Therefore, always read product labels, especially those marked sugar-free, and keep them out of reach of your pets. When it comes to pet nutrition, a common belief is that raw food is inherently healthy and natural. Driven by a desire to give their pets the absolute best, many owners choose to feed raw meat, fish, or eggs. The reasoning seems simple enough. Wild predators eat their prey raw, so why shouldn't our pets? But we often forget that our pampered house cat is not a wild lion, and the meat from the supermarket isn't a freshly caught mouse. The main risk associated with raw products is bacterial contamination, primarily from Salmonella and E. coli. These dangerous microorganisms can lurk in raw meat, poultry, eggs, and fish. While our own strong stomach acidity might allow these bacteria to pass through relatively unnoticed, for a cat, such an infection can be life-threatening, even fatal. Symptoms of salmonellosis or E. coli infection are severe and include intense vomiting, often bloody diarrhea, fever, and rapid dehydration. These infections are particularly dangerous for kittens and elderly, immunocompromised cats. Beyond bacteria, raw eggs contain an enzyme called avidin, which interferes with the absorption of biotin, a vital B vitamin. A deficiency in biotin can lead to issues with skin and coat health, and potentially even neurological problems. So if you're looking to offer your cat a special treat like meat or eggs, always ensure they are thoroughly cooked. This simple step is a reliable way to safeguard your beloved pet from dangerous bacterial infections and other health risks. Continuing on the topic of raw foods, we need to specifically highlight one category that carries a double threat: raw river fish. Many owners, based on old beliefs, still consider fish the best treat for their cat. However, raw fish, especially river fish, can cause irreparable harm to your pet's health. Beyond the already mentioned risks of bacteria and parasites, which are far more common in river fish than in saltwater varieties, there's another hidden, very insidious threat. Certain fish species like carp, pike, and bream contain an enzyme called thiaminase. It sounds scientific, but its effects are incredibly destructive. Thiaminase destroys thiamine in a cat's body, more commonly known as vitamin B1. This vitamin is critically important for the proper functioning of the nervous system and brain. It plays a key role in carbohydrate metabolism and provides cells with energy. What happens if a cat regularly eats this kind of fish? They develop a vitamin B1 deficiency. This leads to severe neurological disorders. Initial symptoms include loss of appetite, drooling, and dilated pupils. Then, coordination deteriorates. The cat might stumble, lose balance, or tilt its head back. Ultimately, this can lead to seizures and, tragically, even death. Heat treatment destroys thiaminase, making the fish safe. But remember, a fish-heavy diet is generally not balanced for cats. After a hearty dinner, you often find yourself with leftover bones, from chicken, a chop, or even those simmered in your broth. It's tempting to offer these tasty bits to your cat, reasoning that predators naturally gnaw on bones. But this is where one of the most dangerous misconceptions lies. There's a vast difference between a raw bone, which a predator naturally crushes along with meat and cartilage, and a cooked bone from your kitchen. When a bone undergoes any kind of thermal processing, whether it's boiled, fried, or baked, its structure fundamentally changes. It becomes brittle and fragile. Instead of simply wearing down, a cooked bone splinters into tiny, razor-sharp fragments. And this is where the real danger begins. These sharp fragments can severely damage a cat's digestive tract at any point along its length. They can scratch or even perforate the delicate lining of the esophagus, stomach, or intestines. This can lead to internal bleeding and peritonitis, a life-threatening inflammation of the abdominal cavity. Furthermore, bone fragments can get lodged in the throat, causing choking, or form a blockage in the intestines, leading to a life-threatening obstruction. Either of these conditions requires immediate and often complex surgical intervention. So, remember this simple rule: absolutely no cooked bones, ever. They are not a harmless treat. They are a potential weapon you might unknowingly give to your beloved pet. Let's turn our attention to a product that, in recent years, has become a true symbol of healthy eating: the avocado. We slice it into salads, whip up creamy guacamole, and spread it on toast. This versatile green fruit seems like pure goodness. However, for cats and many other animals, avocado is far from beneficial. It's actually poisonous. Every part of the avocado, from the creamy flesh and the large pit to the leaves and even the skin, contains a fungicidal toxin called persin. While humans are largely unaffected by persin, it can be extremely dangerous for cats, even though they might be less susceptible than, say, birds. In cats, persin poisoning primarily targets the digestive system, leading to symptoms like vomiting and diarrhea. However, the gravest danger lies in its potential impact on the heart and lungs. In severe cases, persin can cause fluid to accumulate in the chest cavity and around the heart, resulting in laboured breathing and potentially leading to the animal's death. Beyond the chemical toxicity of the avocado itself, there's also a significant mechanical risk. The large avocado pit, if a cat attempts to chew or swallow it, poses a choking hazard or can cause a dangerous intestinal obstruction. So if you're an avocado lover, it's crucial to ensure your feline friend has absolutely no access to it. Let this popular superfood remain safely on your plate and out of paw's reach. For many of us, a relaxed evening often involves a favourite show and a bowl of nuts. They're delicious, and we often think of them as a healthy snack. But if your cat is sitting next to you, intently watching your crunchy treat, sharing with your feline friend is a definite no-no. Nuts, it turns out, are another food that simply doesn't belong in a cat's diet. First off, nuts, especially varieties like walnuts, almonds and pecans, are packed with fats. A cat's pancreas isn't designed to process that much fat. Regular consumption can trigger an attack of pancreatitis, a very painful and potentially life-threatening inflammation of the pancreas. In milder cases, it can lead to vomiting and an upset stomach. Secondly, there's a specific type of nut that is particularly toxic to animals, the macadamia nut. Even a small amount of this nut can cause weakness, muscle tremors, vomiting, and an elevated temperature in cats. The exact mechanism of this poisoning isn't fully understood, but its harmful effects are well documented. Finally, there's also the physical danger to consider. Whole nuts, especially larger ones, pose a significant choking risk if a cat attempts to swallow them. They might also get stuck in the digestive tract, causing blockages. So, no matter how plaintively your pet begs, keep that bowl of nuts safely out of their reach. What about fruits? We've already learned that grapes are a definite no-no, But there's another group of fruits you should absolutely keep away from your feline friends. Citrus. We're talking lemons, oranges, tangerines, grapefruits, and limes. You might wonder what's so bad about these juicy, vitamin C-packed fruits. For cats, the danger lies in their unique scent and chemical composition. All parts of citrus plants, the peel, pulp, seeds, and even the leaves, contain essential oils and compounds called psoralens. These are what give these fruits their distinct, bright aroma, and it's these very components that are toxic to cats. Fortunately, most cats instinctively avoid the strong citrus smell. They find it quite unpleasant. But if, out of curiosity, a cat does manage to eat a small piece of orange or lick the peel, it can cause problems. In minor cases, citrus will likely only cause mild gastrointestinal upset, leading to symptoms like vomiting or diarrhea. However, if a larger quantity of pulp is ingested, or even more dangerously, the peel, where the concentration of these oils is highest, the poisoning can be more severe. This can lead to central nervous system depression, weakness, lethargy, and even skin photosensitivity. So next time you're peeling a tangerine, make sure your curious cat's nose is well out of reach. Admit it, we've all been tempted to share a fatty little scrap of meat with our cat after dinner. Those tempting bacon bits, chicken skin, a tiny piece of rendered fat. It seems like the perfect treat for a little predator. After all, fat is delicious and packed with energy, but actually, this seemingly generous act is a quick and direct route to a very serious illness. We're talking about pancreatitis. It's an inflammation of the pancreas, the organ responsible for producing enzymes that digest food and insulin. A cat's digestive system has evolved to thrive on a diet high in protein and moderate in fat. It simply isn't equipped to handle a sudden fat bomb attack. When a cat ingests too much fat at once, its pancreas goes into overdrive. It releases an excessive amount of digestive enzymes. In some cases, this process spirals out of control, and these enzymes begin to digest the pancreas itself instead of the food in the intestines. This causes severe inflammation and excruciating, agonizing pain. Your cat might hunch over in pain, refuse to eat, and suffer from persistent vomiting. Acute pancreatitis is a life-threatening condition that requires immediate veterinary hospitalization. So, no matter how much your cat begs or gives you those pleading eyes, fatty scraps belong in the trash, not in their bowl. Owners who share their homes with both cats and dogs often wonder if it's okay to give their cat a bit of dog food, or vice versa. After all, the kibble looks and even smells pretty similar. If one bowl is empty and the other is full, it seems like a convenient solution. A one-off treat likely won't cause any harm. However, consistently feeding a cat dog food is a serious mistake that can lead to significant health issues. Despite their similar appearance, the nutritional compositions of these foods are vastly different, as they are formulated for animals with entirely different dietary needs. Cats are obligate or true carnivores, meaning they rely entirely on meat. Dogs, on the other hand, are omnivores. The main difference lies in one crucial nutrient, taurine. Taurine is an essential amino acid for cats. Their bodies cannot produce it on their own, so they must obtain sufficient amounts from their diet, primarily from meat. Dogs, however, are able to synthesize taurine themselves. For this reason, cat foods contain high levels of taurine, whereas dog foods have very little, if any. If a cat consistently eats dog food, it will develop a severe taurine deficiency. This can directly lead to blindness, as taurine is vital for retinal health, and to dilated cardiomyopathy, a life-threatening heart condition. This next item on our list deserves your full attention, as we're not discussing food, but rather something you might have in your home medicine cabinet. Never, under any circumstances, give your cat human medication without a veterinarian's explicit guidance. What helps us can be a deadly poison for them. A prime and tragically common example is paracetamol, also known as acetaminophen. It's a popular fever reducer and pain reliever found in almost every home. For cats, paracetamol is one of the most dangerous toxins, Just one tablet can be lethal to an adult cat. A cat's liver lacks the specific enzymes needed to properly metabolize this substance. As a result, toxic metabolites build up in their system, delivering a devastating double blow. Firstly, they destroy liver cells, leading to acute liver failure. Secondly, they damage red blood cells, specifically by converting hemoglobin into methemoglobin, which is incapable of carrying oxygen. The symptoms of poisoning are horrifying: laboured breathing, swelling of the face and paws, bluish discoloration of the gums, vomiting, and ultimately coma. Death typically occurs due to suffocation and complete liver failure. The same goes for aspirin, ibuprofen, and many other medications commonly found in our home medicine cabinets. If your cat becomes ill, the only correct and safe course of action is an immediate visit to your veterinarian. If you're a fan of homemade baking, occasionally whipping up some bread pies or pizza, then your home harbours another, often overlooked but very serious danger for your curious cat. That danger is raw yeast dough. A ball of dough left to rise on the counter can easily attract your pet with its inviting smell and soft texture. But if your cat eats even a small piece, the consequences can be catastrophic. The problem lies in the very nature of yeast. Yeast are living microorganisms that become highly active in a warm, moist environment. They consume sugar and produce carbon dioxide and ethanol, in other words, alcohol, and a cat's warm, moist stomach is the perfect incubator for them. What happens next? Once ingested, the dough continues to rise and expand in volume inside the stomach. It bloats, stretching the stomach walls and causing intense pain. In severe cases, this can lead to gastric torsion, bloat, or even a rupture of the stomach, a life-threatening condition. But that's just the first part of the problem. The second is the alcohol produced during fermentation. This alcohol is absorbed into the cat's bloodstream, causing acute alcohol poisoning with all its severe consequences: loss of coordination, dangerously low blood sugar, respiratory depression, and even coma. So, if you're baking, always ensure your dough rises in a place completely out of your pet's reach. Movie night often means salty snacks. Think chips, crackers, popcorn, or nuts. And naturally, your curious cat is right there, eager to share. Offering them just one chip might seem like a small thing, but for cats, excess salt is far more dangerous than it is for us. A cat's body simply isn't designed to handle large amounts of salt. Their daily sodium requirement is tiny, fully met by a high-quality, balanced cat food. Any excess sodium can severely disrupt their body's delicate fluid and electrolyte balance. So what happens if a cat gets salt poisoning? The body tries to eliminate excess sodium by drawing water from its cells. This leads to severe dehydration, intense thirst, vomiting, and diarrhea. But the most dangerous complications occur when that excess sodium reaches the brain. This can trigger severe neurological symptoms: loss of coordination, muscle tremors, seizures, and even a coma. This condition, known as hypernatremia, requires immediate veterinary attention to restore their electrolyte balance. Therefore, all salty human snacks, like chips, sausages, deli meats, and salted fish, should be strictly off-limits for your cat. Canned tuna. What could possibly be more enticing to a cat? After all, it's fish, and many felines simply adore its smell and taste. It's common for owners to buy a can of tuna, in water or oil, intended for human consumption, and share it with their beloved pet. As a very rare treat, a small water-rinsed piece of tuna in its own juice might not cause harm. However, making human-grade tuna a regular part of their diet is a significant mistake. Firstly, tuna meant for humans is not nutritionally balanced for a cat. It lacks many vital vitamins and minerals that cats need daily, such as calcium, vitamin E, and taurine. Consistently feeding tuna will lead to deficiencies in these essential nutrients and consequently severe health problems. Secondly, tuna has a concerning characteristic. As a large, long-lived predatory fish, it accumulates heavy metals from its environment in its tissues, primarily mercury. While not dangerous for humans in moderate amounts, Regular mercury intake can lead to chronic poisoning in a cat's small body. This toxic buildup affects the nervous system and kidneys, causing issues like loss of coordination and other neurological problems. Therefore, if you wish to treat your cat to tuna, always choose specialised cat food specifically formulated for them. And finally on our list is a product that demands extreme caution, especially if you're a keen forager or buy your mushrooms from local vendors. We're talking about mushrooms. While a delicacy for humans, for a cat, they can easily become their last meal. The inherent problem with mushrooms is that even experienced foragers can struggle to distinguish edible from poisonous varieties. What's more concerning is that for cats, even species we consider conditionally edible can pose a serious threat. A cat's system is incredibly sensitive to mushroom toxins. Poisoning can manifest with a wide range of symptoms, all depending on the specific type of mushroom ingested. Some toxins directly attack the gastrointestinal tract, leading to severe vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Others, far more insidious, target internal organs. For instance, toxins from deadly varieties like the death cap or fly agaric destroy liver and kidney cells, leading to acute organ failure. This condition progresses rapidly and sadly is often fatal. There are also mushrooms containing neurotoxins, which attack the central nervous system. These can cause hallucinations, seizures, tremors, and even coma. Given that a curious cat might try a raw mushroom brought in from the outdoors, or even a prepared dish, the best defense is complete isolation. Never offer mushrooms to your cat, and never leave them within paw's reach. The risk is simply too high, and the cost of a mistake can be fatal. So, we've talked about onions, chocolate, grapes, alcohol, and roughly 15 other dangerous foods. It might feel like an endless list, as if danger lurks in every corner of your kitchen. But do you know what the single most dangerous thing in your home truly is for your cat? It's not on any toxic substances list. The biggest threat isn't a product at all, but our human compassion, mixed with a lack of knowledge. It's that thought, oh, just one tiny piece. What could possibly happen? It's that seemingly harmless one piece, offered repeatedly, that forms dangerous habits and slowly but surely undermines your pet's health. You can poison a pet not just with a dose of toxin, but with consistent, improper nutrition. The biggest threat isn't the food itself, but our decision to share it. Remember, your furry friend's health is entirely in your hands. The best way to show your love isn't with a forbidden treat, but with high-quality cat food, fresh water, and your undivided attention. Safety begins with awareness. Thank you for watching this important video all the way to the end. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our future content. Now, a question for you. What safe, healthy treats do you spoil your pets with? Tell us in the comments what delicious and healthy goodies they love most. Let's build a collection of safe treat ideas for our beloved companions.